In 18th century, the world witnessed a new kind of revolution that introduced novel ways of working and living. It also introduced different kinds of law, different kinds of things into the society that transformed the society fully. The new revolution I am talking about is Industrial Revolution, and this revolution contributed in today's climate change and global warming. It is known to us that the climate of our planet has always changed and fluctuated due to natural drives that control our climatic system. But in today's time, due to excessive human activities causing Earth's temperature rise and different kinds of peculiar weather events and sea level changes, we humans are destroying this earth bit by bit. The humans are destroying the natural habitats for animals for excessive agricultural expansion and infrastructure development. Due to these kind of activities, we are also harming most precious peatlands. Our world's carbon sink is in danger. If peatlands will be destroyed, then that will be the end of the earth. So in this topic, we will going to discuss what peatland is all about, how it was formed, some examples of peatlands, and why peatlands are essential for earth existence. Now first we will going to discuss what peatland is all about. Peatland is the part of wetland ecosystem. The wetland ecosystem covers roughly 6 to 9% of Earth's terrestrial surface. Among this share, peatlands cover is only 3%. They are present in multiple regions across the globe, but peatlands are most abundant in boreal, subarctic and tropical zone. Because in this region the temperatures are perfect and precipitation amounts are favorable. But if you think these are just swamps with no significant role, then you are wrong. These landscapes are very important for existence of this world, because this critical landmass prevents and mitigates the effects of climate change, preserving biodiversity, minimizing flood risk, and ensuring safe drinking water. The peatlands also played critical role in storing carbon naturally. They store nearly 550 billion tons of carbon, which is twice as much as all the world forest. The peatlands are one of the most dependable and trustable ally to win fight against climate change. By conserving and restoring peatlands globally, the humans can reduce emissions and revive an essential ecosystem that provides many services. But accelerating development is causing more damage than recovering. The damaged peatlands are major source of greenhouse gas emission, responsible for almost 5% of global anthropogenic CO2 emission. The peatland restoration can reduce these emissions significantly. Now we need to discuss how peatlands work. Without understanding the peatlands working principle, we will not going to add any value to our knowledge about these special kinds of wetland. The peatland stays year-round waterlogged conditions. These waterlogging conditions show planet decomposition to such an extent that the dead plants accumulates to form peat. This stores carbon plants absorbed from the atmosphere within peat soils. This carbon sinks provides a net cooling effect and helping to mitigate climate crisis. As the presence and the disappearance of peatlands directly proportional to climate change, then we reach the most important part of our discussion, which is importance of peatlands. Peatlands are most important combat in the climate change. It is also important to achieve sustainable development goals. The peatlands protection and the restorations are vital in the transitions to zero carbon society, because the emissions from drained peatlands are estimated at 1.9 gigatons of carbon dioxide annually. This is equivalent to 5% of global anthropogenic greenhouse gas emission. The examples will going to show you how damaged peatland can hurt world environment. The fire in the Indonesian peat swamp forest in 2015 emitted nearly 16 million tons of carbon dioxide a day, which is more than the entire economy of United States. The 3 million square of peatlands sequestered 0.37 gigatons of carbon per year, which is amazing. The peat soil contain more than 600 gigatons of carbon, which represents up to 44% of soil carbons, all soil carbons. And this percentage is way more than the carbon stored in all other vegetation types, including world's forest. So peatlands are superheroes of ecosystem. It regulates the water flows, minimizes the risk of flooding and drought. Additionally, it prevents seawater intrusions and helps in purifying water. In peatlands, organic material does not really decompose because of lack of oxygen. That is why peatlands are nutrient poor and acidic. But these peatlands support different kinds of biodiversity. A few plants and the animal species live there, but these species are very, very important and very, very special for these kinds of peatlands, for the existence of the peatlands. There are so many other things that the peatlands do. They prevent the wildfire and it helps to preserve the air quality. The draining peatland reduces the quality of drinking water. If the draining happens, then the water becomes polluted with organic carbon. In many parts of the world, the peatlands support food, fiber and the other local products that sustain economics. They also preserve important ecological and archaeological information such as pollen records and the human artifacts. So peatlands are very important. So we need to preserve these kinds of peatlands all over the world. But the peatlands have been at the risk for centuries. They are either drained to make way for the fertile pasture or they are destroyed by extraction of peat. We humans are very greedy. That is why we use the peat as a source of energy. When the peatlands are drained and their peat is exposed to air and released its carbon in the form of carbon dioxide, this release of carbon become 20 times faster than it was sequestered. Now I would like to give you some examples of peatland, which will also include the largest peatlands of the world. The peatlands are found in almost 180 countries. So these peatlands are landscape. These peatlands landscape are varied, from temperate blanket mines with open and treeless vegetations to warm tropical zone with full of trees. The vegetation present in Scotland to swamp forest in Congo, Brazil, Peru and the various other nations of Southeast Asia. The world's largest peatlands were identified beneath the forest of Congo Basin in 2017. This is also the largest transboundary Ramsar wetland site in the world. It is made up of two Ramsar sites in Republic of Congo and the another one is Democratic Republic of Congo. It covers 1,29,000 square kilometer, about same size of Greece and Bangladesh. It also contains around 30 gigatons of carbon, which is as much as United States economy emits in 15 years. After all this, we need to discuss how peatlands vanishes in developed countries like Switzerland, and how Switzerland is trying to recover it. In 19th century, there were around 250,000 hectares of wetland in Switzerland. The area already reduced by 40% in 1900. Today there are less than 2,000 hectares left. This means that over the past 200 years, more than 90% of peatland in Switzerland have been lost. They might be gone altogether within these centuries if no action is taken. To avoid nearly irreversible loss, the regeneration measures have been taken in around 30% of remaining Swiss lands and different kinds of peatlands all across the Switzerland and the other nations. Regarding the regeneration process have been financed by the Swiss federal government and the other organizations come under the United Nations. The United Nations environmental body is working with the other nation in restoring the wetlands. The World Economic Forum is also supporting this effect. So as we know, seeing the devastation effect of the climate change around the world, so it is our duty to restore some environmentally vital organ of our planet, the vital organs like forest and the peatlands. We are experiencing some sea level rising, extreme weather events, extreme rainfall, extreme drought around the world. The East Africa is facing extreme drought. The Iraq is being hit by spontaneous sandstorm. The India is facing heat wave. Because of that, the India's agricultural produces are reducing. The people around the world facing famine, unemployment, migration because of climate change. The climate is directly proportional to temperature. As the temperature is increasing, the behavior of the climate changing is erratically. So, therefore, the peatlands need to be saved to maintain the cooler environment all around the world. We have to understand the essence of the environment in which we are living. If we will going to hurt our environment by the way we are doing the nuisance all across the world in the name of energy and the economy, then we will be doomed one day. And that day is very soon coming. So this is the end of the topic. Now the questions. The first question is, UNESCO has recently discovered 2 miles long coral reef along the coast of which country? The first option is Tahiti, second option is Kiribati, third option is Samoa, fourth option is Fiji. The second question is, which of the following date is for the World Wetlands Day? First option is 22nd February, second option is 2nd February, third option is 24th February, fourth option is 21st February. This is the picture of the wetlands I have lastly gave you. This is where the wetlands are present. Alongside the wetlands, there are so many mangroves are also there. So this is truly the end of the topic. If you have any question regarding this topic or any other things, then you can contact me through my email address, which is tuhin.power.academy@gmail.com. So thank you very much. Thank you for your support, and please watch my channel.